the like button, hit the sub button, hit the notification bell. You understand me? Subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. Join this Fisk Unit army and get Fisk Unit tough.
Moving on to message number 2. I'm going to need y'all to hit that like button. We 165 deep in here. Let's go ahead and get to 100 likes. Run that like button up. I'm going to get the super chats after this message because we got to address Saquon Barkley. Now, here's the deal. All right, here's the deal. Now, for those of y'all who don't know, Saquon Barkley came out and he talked about he wants to be a Giant for life. Saquon Barkley, once again, is talking about his contract situation, and Saquon Barkley is once again talking about being a Giant for life. Now, I think Saquon Barkley watches my content, so I'm going to be nice. I am. The following message is only to help Saquon and help people who watch my show. Because the message that I'm about to deliver to Saquon, you can apply this in your everyday life. Remember, I promised you, my messages will be universal. They will be Giant-centric, but you can apply these messages in everyday life. Okay? Now, Saquon Barkley. Okay? I'm going to get straight to the point because you're talking too much again. You didn't learn from your mistakes of last season. The main reason why we got upset with Saquon Barkley as Giants fans is because this is the rhetoric that he spewed in January when we lost to the Eagles. Never in a million years did I think that Saquon would be the one to not get signed, threaten to hold out, get spicy in the media. I didn't see that out of Saquon. I didn't see it. I really, really didn't. Now, the problem with Saquon is he folded. So there's two messages that I want to give to Saquon Barkley. I think he needs to hear this, and whoever represents Saquon Barkley needs to hear this. Lesson number 1, Saquon, rule 4 of the 48 laws of power. Say less. Control your words, Saquon. See, here's the problem, Saquon. You're talking too much. You always say less than necessary. Okay? The more you try to impress with words, the more you try to win over people with words, the dumber you sound. The more likely it is you're bound to say something stupid. Okay? The more you talk, the more you expose, the more damage you do to whatever the fuck you're trying to accomplish. Say less. Okay? If you can't control your words, you can't control your actions, and that makes you weak and unworthy of respect. What does Saquon Barkley do? Saquon Barkley could not control his words. He goes on podcasts and he threatens holdouts. He threatens to say, fuck my teammates, fuck the Giants, but I'm not going to do that. He sent out an empty threat. Okay? A man who cannot control his words also cannot control his actions. Within a fucking week of Saquon Barkley making empty threats, he returned to camp. What did I just say 60 seconds ago? A man who cannot control his words cannot control his actions. Saquon Barkley, rule number 5, 48 laws of power. Protect your reputation, Saquon. You damage your reputation by reporting to camp without a holdout. You were supposed to make a statement. You were supposed to stand on the words that you put into the universe and let the Giants know you mean business. You didn't do that. You broke rule number 4 and you broke rule number 5. What the fuck are we doing, bro? And I'm not trying to rip you, Saquon, because I honestly felt bad about the shit that I said about you because I love Saquon. He's one of my favorite Giants. I didn't like doing that. So what I'm trying to do today is hopefully get Saquon Barkley to understand that he fucked himself this offseason and he should probably take what the Giants give him if he wants to be a Giant in February. Because the problem, Saquon, is because you can't control your words and you want to throw Daniel Jones under the bus, you want to make your case publicly and say, I'm the Derrick Henry of this team, I'm the Christian McCaffrey of this team. Since you want to say all these things and then go on podcasts and make empty threats about holding out, you were supposed to stand on that, Saquon. By you not standing on that, Saquon, you showed the Giants that you're weak. You showed the Giants that they shouldn't fear you. Let me tell you a little story real quick. I'm a pretty boy. I know. Why does Fitz Vegas continue to talk about what he looks like and he doesn't show his face? Suck my dick. Fuck you too. But I'm a pretty boy. Okay. Now, growing up, I grew up in the 90s. I grew up in the early 2000s. We fought. You had to have a knuckle game. There was no guns. There was no shooting people. We weren't there. That's not my era. You had to fight people. You had to be tough when I was growing up, right? Now, because I'm a pretty boy and because I like to laugh and have a lot of fun, people wouldn't take me serious. So rule number 5, it says protect your reputation. It's not even a rule. Shang Tzu says when you're far, appear close, and when you're close, appear far. When you're vulnerable, attack. When you're not vulnerable, play defense. You got to keep the opposition guessing. So in order for me to get respect, in order for me to actually be able to function at school, function in the neighborhood, when I got into a fight, when I got into an altercation, I had to go an extra mile. I had to really hurt people. I had to send a message that ain't shit sweet over here. If I got you on the ground, I got to stomp you a little bit more. If I pull out a weapon, I actually had to use it. I had to do these things. If a group of people talk to me, even if I got my ass kicked, I had to go over there and shoot the fair one with 3 or 4 dudes. I had to prove to my peers that I'm not sweet. I had no choice. I always had to do a little bit more to prove myself because I'm good looking and I smile a lot and I get all the girls. Nothing's worse than being a pretty boy, especially when you're light skinned. It don't help. I always had to do a little bit more to protect my reputation. I always had to do a little bit more because if I didn't, nobody would take me serious. If I didn't, I'd have to fight, get punked and bullied on the school bus, on the walk home, recess at the playground. I would always get shit if I didn't protect my reputation. Saquon, when you make empty threats, when you say you're going to do something, you have to do it, even if you don't want to, Saquon. Because now, what is your leverage in February? This is my whole thing, and this is why I got so angry with Saquon a couple weeks ago, is because I couldn't understand how he was moving. There was no strategy. It wasn't coordinated. Nothing he did to me makes sense. So you have the most leverage this offseason. This was the offseason Saquon Barkley had the most leverage because Daniel Jones has not gone ape shit yet. Daniel Jones has not had the 30 touchdown season. He didn't go to a championship game. Daniel Jones hasn't had that season yet. He hasn't had that season yet, right? This was the one season where the media and the fan base was on Saquon Barkley's side. He had the most leverage. This was his opportunity to strike, right? He fucked it up. Now, nobody believes you. I want everybody in the chat. I want you to put a B in the chat if you believe Saquon, and put an L in the chat if you don't. If Saquon Barkley says, I'm going to hold out if you don't pay me $15 million, will you believe him? Will you believe him? If Saquon Barkley 6 months from now says, the Giants aren't paying me what I'm worth, I'm going to hold out, I'm going to miss games, is anybody going to believe him? This is the point I'm trying to make. You have to protect your reputation. It's everything. It's how people view you. Now, when I look at Saquon, I see a guy who can't control his words, who can't control his actions, and I can't take him serious, respectfully. So when Saquon Barkley comes out and says, I want to be a Giant for life, I don't believe you. Because the last time you said you wanted to be a Giant for life, you proceeded to go on podcasts and threaten to hold out. And then you join running back coalitions and shit and go on Zoom calls with the rest of these niggas. And you the first one to break strike. So what I'm trying to say, Saquon, is at this point, know when you're beat. know when to fold the hand, know when to exit the pot. At this point, bro, I fully expect Saquon to take whatever contract the Giants give him and keep it pushing because you have no leverage and we don't believe you. We don't. So I just can't. When I hear Saquon Barkley speak on his contract, it goes in one ear and out the other. It just does. Saquon, I'm going to leave, just in case you are listening, I'm going to leave you with one little jewel, and I want you to remember this. You really should remember this because this is the biggest mistake that you made, Saquon. It's the biggest mistake you made. And you have to learn how to plan. You see, the problem with Saquon Barkley is he made a plan. He made a plan of action. See, what Saquon Barkley did was say, this is what I'm going to do. This is my plan. This is what I'm going to do, right? That's what he did. He made a plan of action. What he didn't do is make an effective plan. You know what effective planning is, chat? Effective planning is giving yourself the most flexibility and ability to respond to different situations so you're prepared for all and any outcomes. When you plan for failure. Saquon had a plan of action. He planned for success. Great planners, effective planners, plan for failure. You plan for failure so you can adjust to the bullshit because nothing in life goes right. Everything in life fucks up. There's always a problem. That's why people go to fucking work. That's why people punch clocks because being an entrepreneur, being a boss is full of problems. You wake up to solve problems. In order to be an effective planner, you have to plan for mistakes. You have to calculate shit going wrong. Saquon Barkley didn't do that because he moved very emotionally. Everything Saquon did was reactive. The podcast, that's reactive. Joining running back coalitions, that's reactive. He was never in control of the negotiation, ever. Joe Shane was. He was. Remember, Sun Tzu says, the victorious warrior wins the battle and then goes to war, okay? While the defeated warrior goes to war and then tries to win the battle. What I'm trying to say, Saquon, is you should have planned for failure. You should have planned for Joe Shane playing hardball. You should have planned for these things. You should have planned for if you had to hold out. You should have planned for if you had to miss games. You should have been 3 steps ahead. But instead, you were moving off emotion. You were reacting to the media. You're reacting to beat reporters. You're reacting to Joe Shane. You're reacting to all these contract leaks saying cap on Twitter and shit. You weren't 3 steps ahead. And that's why you lost the negotiation. Bottom line, I'm going to say it again. Sun Tzu said it in The Art of War. Victorious warriors win the battle and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war and then win the battle. I've been telling y'all for years, so you have to stay 3 steps ahead in life. You plan for failure. You don't plan for success. Nothing goes according to plan in life. It never does. You have to plan for failure. You have to give yourself flexibility. You have to give yourself breathing room. If you know the fuck up is coming, you can brace for it. You can't plan for shit to go right. It never goes right. Remember the first message when I talked about timing? Remember that first message I talked about timing? You only receive your blessing when you're ready. That's why I say plan for failure, because you don't know when you're ready. You might think you're ready. 50 Cent thought he was ready when he had a single with Beyonce. 50 Cent was signed to Columbia Records, had a single with Beyonce, got shot 9 times and dropped from his record label. He thought he was ready. No, he wasn't ready. 50 Cent wasn't ready until, 2003? 3 years after having a single with Beyonce, he drops Get Rich or Die Trying. Just because you think you're ready, just because you think it's your time, doesn't mean it's your time. It just doesn't. I had 11,000 subscribers 3 years ago. I had 11,000 subscribers. I thought it was my turn. I thought I was going to take off, get 20, 30,000 subscribers or whatever the fuck. What happened? My channel almost got demonetized, and I had to create Fist Vegas Red and create Fist Vegas Blue. and start from scratch. Imagine having 11, 12, 13 fucking subscribers on YouTube and you had to start from scratch. I had to start from scratch. I built Fist Vegas General Fist, which is at 9.8 thousand subscribers right now. I built that from scratch. This Giants channel, I built it from scratch. I started over. I worked my ass off to get 12,000 subscribers. I thought it was my time. I thought it was my fucking time. And it wasn't. I had to start over because my shit almost got demonetized. So, in life, it's about timing. It's all about timing and planning and being prepared for shit to go wrong. You understand? So, with that being said, it's time to get in to y'all super chats. Let me go.